Well, good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you with me on this Tuesday morning. It is a cool morning here in the Oklahoma City area, but it is going to warm up for us. We're going to be hitting the 60s today. How about that? And I'm looking forward to that, seeing what God's going to do here as I get on to my day. What a great day. We had a good start yesterday. Of course, being able to go out and do some soul winning. Monday, I do studying and soul winning and getting some business done here in the office, getting the week going. And then today, doing some more studying and then just getting some things ready for the weekend as we have our Christmas cantata coming up this Sunday night, 6 p.m. If you happen to be in the Oklahoma City area, I would encourage you to come, be a part of it. It's going to be a great service on Sunday night and seeing what God can do. And bring somebody with you. And boy, let me tell you something. There's something about just coming and hearing some good singing, then some good old-fashioned preaching, and watching some lives get changed. I'd encourage you to come be a part of it. I am anxious for what God's going to do. Then we're going to have some cookies and hot chocolate, hot apple cider, and some coffee afterward. Time of fellowship with God's people. Always enjoy being able to do that, and anxious for what God's going to do. Now, tonight, ladies, don't forget the ladies' Christmas fellowship tonight. And I think that's 6 o'clock, 6:30, something like that. And you make sure that you're here. We'll have the ladies are going to have a wonderful time. I'm not going to be here. My wife will be with the ladies, and I'm looking forward to that. And so you make sure that you're here for all of that. Well, today, I want to talk to you about two actions that destroy good lives. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 3, the scripture says, and Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. Now, Solomon had everything set up for him to live a life for God and a life of great accomplishment. David handed him everything. He started his reign right, but he did not end it right. So many times this happens. Sadly, what started with great potential ended with Solomon having his heart turned after other gods and end up destroying his life. Now imagine the man who built the temple of God, not serving God at the end of his life, the very God who he built the temple for. This makes no sense, but that is precisely where Solomon ended up. And it influenced, sadly, many generations of kings to stray from God. Now, Solomon's life story seems to be lived over and over again in the lives of believers. I've seen it in my lifetime of men who had great influence. They started straying, and they influenced, oh my good night, scores of lives. Guys today who are critical of what I am, what I practice, and yet he once used to have me preach in their pulpit. They used to, amen. They used to say, preacher, we believe everything that you do, and yet today here they are doing the complete opposite and criticizing and attacking. And now it's sad because these same people start right, just like Solomon did, but they took actions that is destroying their lives and generations to follow. Now, Solomon's life story, get this now, it could be avoided, this life story. I want to give you two actions that I have observed that have led to eventual destruction. First, the first act is that Solomon made affinity with the king of Egypt. Now, Egypt is a type of the world. In other words, Solomon made friendship with the world. You can never become a friend of the world and please God at the same time. James 4:4 teaches, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enemy with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. The world is always opposed to God. Therefore, there is no way you can be friendly with the world and God simultaneously. Elijah brought this to light when he challenged the prophets of Baal. He said in 1 Kings 18:21, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. You cannot walk on both sides of the fence, my friend. You got to choose a side, which side you're going to follow. Though Solomon tried to straddle the fence, he eventually chose the world side, and people always do. The second act that led to Solomon's destruction was he almost did all that he was supposed to do. 1 Kings 3:3 says, and Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. Notice that word only. It was the only in Solomon's life that led to worshiping other gods. On whatever area you give an exception to in sin or compromise is the area that becomes the cancer for it to slowly eat through your walk with Christ until it kills you. You cannot have onlys in your life and serve God. God is the only one to be in your life. God commands obedience because he knows that it's the only way to enjoy his blessings and to avoid sin from destroying your life. I think of, we're in Christmas season, and I'm always amazed. And I'm just going to muse just a little bit with you, if I can, if you don't mind. And I'm always amazed at how many churches have forgotten what we learned from the previous generations. I remember Brother Hiles, my pastor for many years, he was dead against dramas, plays in the church. He just didn't. He says, we go to church for preaching, not for plays. Yet it's Christmas season. Now follow me carefully. And there's a lot of so-called our type of churches, and although they've strayed some already, that are now doing dramas for their Christmas times and plays for their Christmas times. And but it's drawn people in. Yeah, and I've seen this my entire life. All you have to do is go to the Prestonwood Baptist Church down in Plano, Texas, look at their Christmas show that they put on. It's nothing more than a Hollywood show that they put on trying to celebrate Christmas. Now, I promise you, they started years ago kind of doing what a lot of guys in our circles are doing. And everybody says, I'll never go there, but they always go there. I don't care who it is. I'm so tired of these guys showing their idiocy, thinking that I'm an exception. Nobody is an exception. You can't go down this road and it stop. I was talking to some of my people last night and so, and we were just talking about this a little bit. I said, the problem with putting on a drama this year, next year, it's got to be better. Next year, you've got to do more. And the problem with doing more next year, eventually you end up where Prestonwood Baptist Church is in full compromise, doing what the world would do and thinking that it looks nothing more than what something that Disney would do, other than Disney's gone so far off. It's crazy. You see, we can't go down this road. And these guys, they all have their spiritual ways, but that's what Solomon did. Solomon he made affinity. He was just friendly towards Egypt. He almost did everything. My friend, the men from the past generation handed us a pure heritage. And today we seem that we have strayed. I'll give you another little example. I know I want to curl some hair on this one. Years ago, the guys never changed their services for Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything like that. They did everything, and they just kept their services at the same time. They didn't change. They didn't even do services on Saturday. But follow me now. We've got churches in our circles right now, good men, that they change their circles, that they change their times up. And but so we can spend time with family, yes? And eventually you'll stop dropping services too. Eventually you'll start closing. I'll never go there. That's what Solomon said. My friend, I've learned this. If I never move one time, I'll never move again. I stay close to what I'm supposed to be. You see, too many people have an only in their life. Too many people have become friendly with the world in their life. And I'm telling you right now, I've watched this. I'm 57 years of age. And at 57 years of age, I have seen this so many times, I get sickened of it. People think I'm just, preacher, you're just too hard. Somebody better be hard, because there's a next generation that's following us. And the onlys and the affinities that we are making are destroying the next generation. There are good men out there that can't draw the line. They're reading books from guys that don't even believe the King James Bible, promoting their books and think, but I'll teach those who follow me that we don't believe that, but there's some good stuff in there. That is the dumbest thing in all the world. My friend, you can't do this. Somewhere we've got to learn. If we don't want to lose the next generation, then we better stay strong. Never have an only in your life. And never have a wrong affinity in your life. Wherever your weakest friendship is where you're going to end up. That's why we've got to stand strong. We've got to do what's right. You'll be criticized and you'll be hated. And I understand that. Listen to me. I'm not the most liked guy in the world, but at least I know I've not changed, and they know it too. But I can point to all these guys that criticize and hate me, and I can show you every one of them. I can show you that they've changed. Every one of them, I can show you they've changed. You know why? Because you can't become affinity with the weaker side and stand with the stronger side. You just can't do it. Now it's time. So, and some of you older men need to pull the reins back. You got to pull the reins back and be strong. You don't let your age cause you, like Solomon, to get weaker. You got to get stronger in your old age because there's another generation. Your time is short, and people will act on your last act more than they will on your strongest act. So therefore, let's keep our strongest acts at the end of our lives, and that's what's going to allow us to always do what's right. When you've changed certain things that what you once used to do, you better watch out because you've made an affinity with someone that caused you to change. And then there's going to be an only. The only always follows the affinity with the wrong crowd. And I promise you this, there's another generation that follows that will corrupt if we're not careful. Let's do what's right. Let's keep it strong, my friend. Let's make sure that we don't change. Let's not have these two destructive actions in our lives. Well, my friend, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.